You guys are standing up for a person who represents hate.
How does he represent hate? What has he done or said that's hateful?
He wants to build a wall.
What's wrong with building a wall? What's wrong with securing your borders?
It's not about securing borders. That's building a wall between communities.
It's building a wall between countries. You know about how the Scandinavian countries that everyone talks about, how they flourish? Countries in Europe have walls, and those are the best standard of living in the world.
All it does is create division and says you guys are not welcome here.
Between two countries.
And all these people are getting kicked out, getting sent to detention centers after they lived here for 30 plus years and not treated humanely.
Did you know that more people were deported under Obama by far than any other?
I'm not talking about Obama.
I know, but what I'm saying is that people are deported all the time. It's not a Trump thing. It's everyone.
It is a Trump thing because ICE has come
Way more people are deported under Obama. People are deported constantly.
We're not talking about Obama. We're talking about the fact that Trump does this.
My point is that deportations happen all the time, constantly, no matter who's the president. Okay, so it's not a Trump thing.
He's been doing it for 5 minutes, and already it's a huge problem.
And how's it a problem? How's it a problem if you're deporting people who aren't supposed to be here?
Because they live here. This is their home.
Because they broke the law to get here. So
because they couldn't follow the strict laws that don't allow people, even though
so do you believe in open borders? Do you think they should just be able to come in and not have to have any border at all and not have any laws or just walk across?
I believe that our borders should be protected from danger. That people should be able to travel.
How do you regulate that though? How do you regulate when there are tons of drug cartels and
we search them, dude. We search them.
Yeah, but there's
so
I can go with if you want to be reasonable and say maybe your position is that you want to make the immigration laws more lax, right? That's what it sounds like.
We're better.
Better.
But
why? What's the point? What's the point of importing hundreds of thousands of people into your country?
We're not importing. We're letting people be. This is Earth. Everybody lives
but
here.
you realize that everybody who lives in a third world country under a shit situation is going to want to come here. And you know what happens when
So we need to say,
do you know what's going on in Europe?
You poor people
Yes.
get the fuck out.
You don't because
Sorry you come from a shitty situation.
No, because you know what they need to do. Because you know what we need to do is we need to help people build their own countries, not just import the third world into ours.
That's not what's happening. That's not
do you know what's happening in Europe?
That's what Trump talks
Do you know what's happening in Europe? Do you know what's happening in Europe? They have much smaller countries than ours. They can't sustain a huge population when they have hundreds of thousands of immigrants coming in from North Africa and the Middle East, and they cannot sustain that population. What happens is France and Paris and the UK, that becomes the third world. That's what happens when you import that many people.
It's not becoming the third world. They have struggles, but it's not becoming the third world.
Oh, it becomes, what happens is you get ghettos, you get Molenbeek, you get,
right now, the reservations
you get segregated communities. You get segregated communities. Yeah, how many refugees are you letting live in your house?
How many immigrants are you supporting?
As many as I can. I go and support them.
You're gonna let right. So that's what I'm saying. If you
stand up for them.
That's what I'm saying though. If you
Why don't you go to work, get a job, and support them?
I have a job.
But see, look.
Okay.
Hey, I'm not trying to destroy, but I have a question for you. If you are struggling and you to live as it is, how do you think it's going to go when you import tons of people? Hang on.
I'm not going to attack you either.
No, I know. But like if we went in there, we would not come out.
Yeah, they would
If
punch.
you went in there and you were like just wanting to talk to somebody,
No, that's not how it works, dude. That's not how it works.
I can.
I know, but
Yeah.
that's because you're with that group
In self-defense. All right.
I
Anyway.
tried to break up the violence. That's why I got pepper spray.
What I'm saying is that we have people like you in our country who are struggling to make it life out as it is, right? So how's that going to be made any better by importing hundreds of thousands of people who are they're going to work? Yes, they should, but look,
that opportunity.
Right, but if we're already struggling to fix our problems with our native population, how do you think that's going to work out?
It's not because of the native people.
No,
it's because
I
of
said
the
our native as in you and me, the natives of our country. I'm not talking about Native Americans. Why? They have as much chance as anyone else.
They don't.
If natives don't fucking get their shit together, that's on them. They've had all the fucking time in the
Have
world.
some compassion, man. They are left with
So you
way
think-
little
you think-
opportunities than we do.
Like what? Why can't they? Why?
Because of where they start out, man. How you're born is a really.
A lot of people start out in shitty situations. They can't just blame everybody else for all their problems.
It's not about that, man.
It's about
understanding that people need help.
They're projecting their problems on other people.
You just
Like
need
that
to
guy
have some
saying, they're
compassion.
saying that it's 5 year old problem.
We start out with whatever situation we have.
And people of all races and types go from all different parts of the, there's people who are white who are in poverty, there's people who are native who are in poverty. They all start at different levels. And for you to just generalize all these people into one category and say that natives are particularly struggling.
Yeah, let me just look at the numbers, dude. Just look it up. Like, they're dying at way higher rates. Their birth rates are way low. The rate is so high.
So that's something. They need to do something. So then what are they doing wrong? That's my question.
It's not that they're doing something
wrong.
What are they doing wrong? They're left behind. That all their resources are being taken away by the government all the fucking time.
The government just take.
Yes.
Kind of like how the government taxes people and takes their hard-earned money away from them.
No, it's when they break treaties and take the land and they leave them with the most unhealthy land.
But they're Americans. They have land in America. They can buy land like anybody else can. They can go move to the city and buy an apartment and work in the city just like anybody else can.
You're not hearing me. It's about
You're saying
where
that
they come from.
They can, and a lot of people come from a lot of places.
A lot of people come from shitty situations.
What does that have to do with Native Americans?
Because that's one of the worst situations to come from.
Well, then they should fix it. They should do something about it.
The government needs to fix it because the government's keeping it the same.
Because it's up to the government to fix all of our problems. But I thought you guys see what is it? Is it the government good or is the government bad? Is the government going to fix all our problems or is the government causing all our problems?
Neither, dude.
No, but you just said that it's the government's fault that natives are having a hard time, and then you said it's the government's responsibility to fix it.
It's because they need to stop fucking doing that shit. Because they're breaking the treaties and they're taking away their land and their resources, and they don't support them. They don't have the support that we do. If we didn't have that support, we would be in shit too.
I think if a native moved from the reservation into the city or into a neighboring city and got a job and worked their way just like anybody else did, then they'd probably do just fine. Yeah, and that's great. Good for them.
You know what?
Good
and then they have to break away from their own culture. That's not fair.
What do you mean? Their culture is American culture. They're Americans.
No,
so
they have their own original culture.
They can keep all that culture. They can do whatever they want. Everybody. I mean, I have like Irish culture. Everybody's got different cultures. You don't have to break away from your culture just to live in America. They're American. Their culture is American.
Okay, but the thing is, it's basically genocide when you say put you guys all in a corner and say that's where you get to live now, and also we're going to take away all your resources.
Fuck nonviolence. That's all you.
I want.
Yeah. Fuck your nonviolent state.
Hey, I like this.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to me. I'm gonna head over there, but thank you for talking.
Yeah, you too. I hope you look up some stuff about natives, all right?
You too. Well, I know a lot of natives, and they're not like pathetic, and they're not. They don't feel like they're oppressed because they actually do something with their life and they actually work. Right. Yeah, I know. I grew up near one.